Chris Mackowski of Emerging Civil War. I am south of the James River today at Petersburg National Battlefield, right here, the Battlefield Visitor Center behind me. It's got curtailed services, but the Visitor Center is still open, as is the bookstore and gift shop, so it's a great place to start things out. And then beyond me is going to be Fort number 5. We're going to walk out there in just a second. This is where Federals captured this area in their initial breakthrough on June 15th, unable to exploit that as they were trying to settle in here at Petersburg. So we're going to take a look around. Glad to have you with me today. One of the cool things outside the visitor center is the artillery display. There are 18 pieces of cannon, plus one over there. Different cannon and mortars that were used during the siege here. And get the chance to kind of get up close and check them out. And there are little signs on each one that tell you what each one's made out of and what the range was and what it was actually called. So you get to get up close. There is a loop trail 0.6 of a mile long that takes visitors out to Battery number 5. Let's take a walk out there with my junior partner, Maxwell. The battery is part of what was known as the Dimmock Line, a necklace of forts some 10 miles long around Petersburg. We'll take a step inside here. Now, Federals began to threaten the city in early June of 1864, and Confederate Commander P.G.T. Beauregard concentrated about 2,200 men in this sector of the line, but that's so sparse it was like one man every 10 feet. Baldy Smith of the Army of the James attacked here on June 15th and pretty much overran the place, but because it was late in the day, he called a halt, even though the path to the city was open before him. Winfield Scott Hancock came up with reinforcements from the Army of the Potomac, but too late to effect the battle. And by next morning, Beauregard had shifted some 14,000 troops into the line, just enough to hold off repeated Federal assaults. Those battles would go on for days and eventually evolve into the 9-month siege of Petersburg. If we take the path down around the front of Battery 5, we'll get to see the Dictator, a seacoast mortar adapted for use during the siege. This is not the original, but it is located where the original once was located, brought here on a specially adapted train car. The 13-inch mortar came from a foundry in Pittsburgh and weighed more than 17,000 pounds. It could shoot a 218-pound shell about 2.5 miles. The trail here puts us in front of Battery 5 up there on the hill. You can see how formidable the terrain is and how it really favors the defenders. Imagine what it would be like to be up there and face an attack. Of course, this is the perfect place to start any tour of the Petersburg Battlefield, the visitor center, obviously. But great little trail, great sights to see, great orientation, fantastic way to start the day. I'm Chris Mackowski for Emerging Civil War.